NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. As everyone waits for details on the federal government's plan to legalize marijuana, city councillors are discussing what legal pot could look like in Edmonton.
Councillors met this week to review a city report that suggests changing zoning bylaws to prepare Edmonton for the legalization of recreational marijuana use. Our Ethan Johnson is following this story and joins us tonight from City Hall. Ethan?
Thanks, guys. Yes, City Council did meet earlier this week to make sure that there won't be any loopholes once marijuana is legalized. Council also prepared several bylaws that would be put into place once marijuana is legalized.
And I know we are already, but we need to continue to put pressure on the feds that they're going to legalize this. That's fine. We need the resources. We need the help.
The report looked at zoning bylaws concerning where marijuana dispensaries should be allowed to be located, as well as rules for people looking to open dispensaries. City Council had a lot of questions concerning moving forward.
So just to be clear, is that date the right date? Do we run a risk?
The home growing is actually raises real concerns.
The draft amendment is nothing concrete, but it does raise many concerns, one of them from one of the speakers of the House who brought up Colorado's issues with marijuana legalization.
Their first issues was armed robbery and attempted thefts. Mainly because of the product being legalized at the time, Colorado didn't have security implemented until they relied on private companies.
The Green Room is a medical marijuana dispensary chain, and CEO Frederick Pels isn't too worried that the legalization of recreational use will affect his medical marijuana business.
They may be looking for more information more than actually product or anything like that, so that's why they would come to us.
The marijuana industry is expecting a huge boom because of the upcoming legalization. So much so that behind me is the construction site of Aurora Sky, and it's going to be the world's largest cannabis production facility. The facility is on land leased out to Aurora from Edmonton International Airport, and it can fit 16 football fields inside the facility, which is going to produce over 100,000 kilograms of cannabis a year. Just driving alongside the construction site, you can get an idea of just how big it's going to be. Since the zoning changes are not put into place yet, a public hearing will be taking place on June 28th to discuss the zoning changes for marijuana businesses, so this should bring up a lot of unanswered questions. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ethan.
That's our Ethan Johnson reporting from City Hall.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch.
A tuition freeze is in place for the third year in a row in Alberta. That was one of the announcements from the province in this year's budget. The government also announced it's putting money towards infrastructure. The budget includes funding to build or modernize 24 schools across Alberta, including 4 new schools in Edmonton. An investment of $400 million over the next 4 years was also promised to build a new hospital in Edmonton. At NAIT, Jason Roth from the NAIT Student Association says that while he's concerned about the rising deficit, he still believes in investing in education.
There's a large deficit being piled up, and that's concerning. However, economic growth is something that can take care of that in part over the coming years.
The province also announced that school fees will be reduced by 25%. There were no new taxes, tax increases, or program cuts in the budget of 2017.
A new University of Alberta study aims to find out if offering free HIV tests at a local pharmacy will encourage more people to get tested. Cole Mondor is a manager at Mint's Health and Drugs, CMP downtown, one of 2 pharmacies offering the 3 tests. He believes that free HIV tests his pharmacy is providing will help at-risk people in the city's core.
A lot of our patients do suffer from a myriad of health conditions such as polysubstance abuse, homelessness, addictions are all very prevalent ailments, I suppose you could say. Even if you're not someone who engages in high-risk behavior, so unprotected sex with unknown partners, or if you're not homosexual or you don't use injection drugs, we still recommend that the general public gets tested for HIV at least every 5 years.
The test at Mint's Health and Drugs are offered Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday between the hours of 10 and 3 p.m.
The Jewish Federation of Edmonton is working on improving the security of Jewish community centers around the city. The Federation is looking at improving security protocols when it comes to bomb threats, as there has been an increase of threats to the Jewish community centers throughout North America, and it's raised concerns here in Edmonton.
We've always been security conscious, but we just decided that it was time to reinforce that and remind all of our stakeholders that they have to have up-to-date emergency plans and call-out lists and be prepared in case something like this happens in Edmonton.
The Jewish Federation has implemented a telephone tree to distribute urgent messages and is working on getting a text message alert similar to the one at the University of Alberta.
Students at an Edmonton high school are working together to try and stop people from using the R word.
We want to thank the McNally students for their efforts to deal with their peer group, to deal with the R word.
Students at McNally High School partnered up with At Motion Ball, Special Olympics Canada, and Canadian Association of Chiefs of Police to make this video about the use of the R word and how it can affect people with mental disabilities.
People say the R word, I think it's like making fun.
Well, I think it's a good thing to always to always try and help out with campaigns when there's somebody who's being bullied, and people are always being bullied by this now because people speak about it all the time and they think, oh, it's just a word, no big deal.
The hashtag #NoGoodWay on social media is being used to help create a conversation about being more careful with what words you use.
The City of Edmonton is hoping for more federal and provincial funds to help end homelessness in Edmonton. The city is 8 years into a 10-year plan to end homelessness, and Mayor Don Iveson says more federal and provincial money is needed in order to create permanent housing for homeless Edmontonians.
And at this point, everybody across the political spectrum gets the argument that we are spending ourselves into a huge hole, chasing vulnerable and homeless Edmontonians around between the justice system and the healthcare system, when their needs could be much better, and much more affordably met through an investment in permanent supportive housing.
The latest homeless count done in Edmonton in November showed that there were more than 1,700 people homeless in our city. That is a 24% drop since the last count in 2014.
The city is considering some new methods of snow removal to make Edmonton a more attractive winter city.
A couple of weeks ago, somebody had made a comment about the city being dirty in the wintertime. You've seen some comments in that in other media recently, and that's bothersome. As I've said to my team, we want to be known as a winter city.
Jones and his team are looking at a few new methods of snow removal, such as spraying calcium chloride, an anti-icing solution on major city streets.
We have to look at different things. Can we put the windrows at the side of the streets as opposed to in the middle? Now that means changes in how we ask people to restrict their parking.
Jones said the next step is to evaluate these new forms of snow removal and present their findings to the City Council in June.
The city is hoping you will make a difference in your neighborhood by helping design parks and pathways.
The transformative project that Breathe is really looks to expand the way we think about open space.
Breathe is Edmonton's green network that will connect neighborhoods with parks and open spaces. It launched this week at City Hall, where Dr. Olson presented the concept of integrating ecology, celebration, and wellness. The plan incorporates existing strategies.
It is so important for people to tell us what they value, what they care about. Edmontonians will know their particular neighborhoods or particular open spaces.
You can go online or check out a hard copy at the library from now until April 15th.
Pi is something you may remember learning in math class. And this week at NAIT, students celebrated the mathematical symbol in a unique way. National Pi Day was originally made to celebrate the mathematical equation 3.14, but today was celebrated a little differently. In the CAP building, students had the opportunity to Pi NAIT staff for just $5, with proceeds going to NAIT's food bank. NAIT's President John Perozak wasn't in his usual suit and tie, but still enjoying the great atmosphere created by the NAIT students.
I think it adds to the campus life of everything. It's kind of a fun thing to see on campus. I've had a few staff already being the ones throwing it rather than students, so it's been a lot of fun.
At the end of the day, $122 was raised for NAIT's food bank, and John left with a little thicker of a beard than he is used to.
Coming up after the break, a NAIT building that brings a positive learning environment to light.
A tour through the Center of Applied Technology shows how the building design was created around ways to encourage mental stability and proper study habits.
For overall health, I find the air quality is so much better.
I'm Brittany Matika, and coming up after the break in sports, NAIT's Ooks men's hockey team is headed to the finals. The ladies basketball team is hosting nationals in our NAIT gymnasium, and I visit CircoFit Aerial Arts, and they're taking me to new heights.
Well, we won't have to be dealing with the snow much longer, as after the weekend we're heading into spring. I'll have more about that on weather after the break.
You know what? This winter has truly been exhausting.
It definitely has, and I'm really happy that spring's around the corner. We're going to go over to Austin Patrick with more for the weather.
Thanks, guys. I'm pretty excited for winter as well, and I cannot wait to hang up the winter jacket. Let's head over to Calgary, where there's going to be a mix of sun and cloud with a 0% chance of precipitation, a high of 3 and a low of -3. So it's probably a good day to take a hike or a walk. Let's head up over to Jasper, where there's going to be, again, a mix of sun and cloud with no precipitation, a high of 3 and a low of -8, which is perfect skiing weather, I'd say, so you probably want to get on that before the snow melts away. Let's head up to Fort McMurray, where there's going to be cloudy with a 40% chance of rain turning into snow with a high of -1 and a low of -4. So it might be a day to stay inside and spend time with the family. Back over here in Edmonton, there's going to be a mix of sun and cloud with 0% chance of precipitation with a high of 3 and a low of -3. So you might want to take a trip down to the ravine and enjoy the nature. Edmonton's average temperatures for today is a high of 4 and a low of -7. Edmonton's record high and low for this day in the past is a high of 17 in 1930 and a low of -27 in 1882. Spring is on Monday, so you will soon be able to enjoy the outdoor activities you love once again.
Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Students, staff, and the general public are taking interactive tours showing how NAIT's newest building's construction helps students learn.
The tour focuses on sustainable features that were in mind even before construction started. Our Jennifer Ray has more on that story.
Just over 3 years ago, construction began on a Green Heart for NAIT, a new building that would not only house thousands of students, but would also create a more healthy learning environment. Jennifer Livermore is a student in NAIT's Bachelor of Technology and Construction Management program. She is leading a tour through the Center for Applied Technology. The large open spaces with natural light encourage her to use on-campus study areas.
And that just helps for overall health, especially in a very dark, wintry place. Any amount of sunlight helps, especially during studies.
When this building was designed and constructed, the goal was to create an environmentally friendly facility. Now NAIT is working towards obtaining certification for its work, hoping to be awarded the LEED certification. Recognizing the building for excellence in energy and environmental design, while the technical specs for this green certification can appear, well, lifeless, Livermore experiences a subtle but dramatic effect.
Heard and learned of the CO2 sensors and that the air in the classrooms is changed at least 3 or 4 times every hour. That made me realize, okay, I'm not falling asleep in class, I'm taking that.
Large windows are used to let in natural light, not only saving light bulbs, but also increasing mental stability and physical well-being. The building also saves water by using low-flow technology in washrooms and for water fountains. Students really enjoy sitting here. The anti-glare coating on the windows makes it really easy for people to work on their devices or just hang out without getting too overheated with sunshine. The college will find out within the year what level of LEED certification they have achieved. Jennifer Ray, NAIT NewsWatch.
There's a lot going on in the city in the world of sports this weekend. Hey, Kyle?
Yeah, that's right. I heard it's going to be a full house this weekend with ACAC finals going on this weekend. And Brittany has more for us. Isn't that right?
That's right, guys. The men's hockey finals and women's basketball finals are both on our home turf this weekend. The NAIT men's hockey team is playing in the ACAC final this weekend in Edmonton. I caught up with the team this week to discuss their preparations. The NAIT battled hard and won last weekend in the ACAC semifinals against the Augustana Vikings. Now we'll face the Grant MacEwan Griffins in the final for a Battle of Edmonton. Coach Tim Fragel feels confident in his team's abilities heading into the finals.
In the first semester, we did not play well against them. We lost both. In the second semester, we played much better against them. We are more focused on just playing the game and playing our team game versus getting wrapped up what they were doing. So I think that's going to be a big thing for us is our mental game and our focus level as we go into the finals.
Strength is we have a bunch of guys that have won championships and have been in a situation like this before, so we can all draw on our past experiences to come up with a win.
Tonight's game is currently underway and is in the first period on Griffin's home ice at the downtown community rink. Head down there after our show tonight to cheer on your Ooks. I went out to the NAIT women's basketball practice earlier this week to check out their preparation for nationals happening this weekend in our gymnasium.
Dead spots and rebuild. That was better. That was better. Okay, switch.
Many athletes dream of playing in a national championship, and when our NAIT were given the hosting rights for the tournament, this dream became a reality for our women's basketball team. This hasn't happened for our team since 2004. With a 23-1 record in the regular season and a loss at provincials came as a bit of a surprise to the Ooks, but head coach Todd Warnick saw this as an opportunity for learning as a team.
No doubt we have a very tall order ahead of us, but I'm confident that we're prepared and that we'll play to a level that we know we're capable of playing to. On this floor, in our gym, anything can happen.
With 6 returning players from last year's national run, Warnick is confident in the team's ability to perform. Come down to the NAIT Gymnasium this weekend to check out the action. The Oil Kings season is wrapping up with their last game happening tomorrow afternoon. Oil Kings fans may have been a bit disappointed with the inaugural season at Rogers Place, with the team finishing 10th in the Eastern Conference. But the team is thankful for their fans and has appreciated their support in the arena all season long.
So cool, yeah. I mean, the attendance is through the roof. Like, I've never really played in front of that many people, so it was pretty awesome. And then just the building itself is obviously state of the art, so it was good.
Your final chance to take in some hard-hitting WHL action will happen on Oil Kings home ice tomorrow at 4 p.m. against the Red Deer Rebels. The National Hockey League Commissioner Gary Bettman visited Edmonton this past week to see the new home of our Oilers, Rogers Place. Bettman was making his yearly visit to our NHL market and toured Rogers Place for the first time. He commended it on being an amazing facility while he addressed the media on Tuesday afternoon.
I always believe that if the NHL didn't work in places like Edmonton, that we didn't work. And particularly in a place like Edmonton, which not only is a great sports town with great people, it's a great hockey town.
Bettman said he would like to see an NHL draft and all-star game come to our city, but not until the development of the Ice District is complete. I have always been curious about the circus and the acrobats that dazzle crowds with effortless moves. This week for my end zone challenge, I learned that those moves take a whole lot of shoulder and ab strength to complete. Today I'm here at Circo Fit Aerial Arts with Megan, who is the owner, and she's going to teach me how to do the trapeze, climb the rope, and the silks.
First, we did a quick full body warm-up to get moving. Then we got right to the trapeze. It was surprisingly difficult to climb onto. It took me a couple attempts, but with a little help and all my strength, I finally did it. Enough of this trapeze, I was off to climbing the rope. I needed to use all my ab strength and wrap the rope around my leg.
So you have this little shelf here?
Mm-hmm. And continue to step on that shelf to climb up. I tried my best, but I wasn't very good. Next up was the long silks that I climbed up onto. Megan gave me step-by-step instructions and guidance the whole time. I felt really safe and secure on the silks. They were soft and stretchy to work with. Megan even taught me a few tricks. Legs out, arms down, and then let me build a cocoon, as I was one tired butterfly. I needed a rest break.
Thanks so much for having me here today, Megan. Circle Fit Aerial Arts is literally for everyone. It was hard, but I'm so glad I took the challenge.
Thanks for coming.
I definitely learned that those effortless moves take a lot of strength training.
Yeah, you better not skip shoulder day at the gym next week, hey, Brittany?
No.
Well, you know what? If things don't work out, you can always maybe join the circus as a backup.
Coming up after the break, student access to non-perishable food items.
If you're a NAIT student struggling financially, you may have access to food provided by student services.
Students who are just, having a little trouble making ends meet, they can apply for a food hamper twice a month.
Hope you guys had a good St. Patrick's Day and no leprechauns jumped out ya. I'll tell you all about the Circa Irish Festival and what's happening inside City Hall right now, coming up in entertainment. NAIT NewsWatch jackets provided by Smeal GM White Court and Elite Sportswear.
Hair services provided by Rock Salon and Spa.
Music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
NAIT's food bank is running low, so this week Kyle and I decided to drop out and help out any way we could.
We went down to drop off some food donations and learn more about how we could help. Food Bank Coordinator Matthew Picor explains to us that although the food bank sees an increase in donations around the holidays time, during this time of year, donating is just isn't on many people's minds.
Pretty much as long as, you're a NAIT student, we will give you one. We'd rather, we're not going to ask too many questions because we'd rather everyone who needs the hamper gets one than put up obstacles in hopes of keeping out people who may not necessarily need the service.
The food bank is open to taking any non-perishable food donations, and you can drop them off at the NAIT Center anytime during the business hours.
Thank you very much.
I really want to get out there this weekend and try some new things, Kyle.
Well, you're in luck. I hear Vicky has some exciting events happening this weekend to tell us about.
You're right, I have just the thing for you guys. Fine dining is a little more cost-friendly this week thanks to Edmonton's downtown dining event. Some of Edmonton's finest restaurants have showcased some of their best dishes at affordable prices. Crash Hotel Lobby Bar is one of the many places to check out this week. They are featuring a 3-course meal for $28 and an executive meal for $45. Since they just recently opened, Chef Nathan Bai is excited to have this event to bring the restaurant a little attention and potentially more business.
Downtown Dining Week is great for people that want to try numerous different things, numerous different styles. For us particularly, because we're brand new, it's been a good boost in business and just great exposure overall.
There are 33 restaurants for you and your date to go and try. Have a couple cocktails and experience some of Edmonton's greatest fine dining. The event wraps up tomorrow. The Edmonton Jazz Festival is set to host its annual benefit concert, the Spring Spectacular, and this year is hosted by Juno Award winner Emily Claire Barlow. Barlow isn't the only thing making this event special. The evening can include a 3-course meal, has silent auctions, and of course a performance by her and her trio, as well as the Edmonton Jazz Orchestra.
Clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see.
Tickets are available at ticksonthesquare.ca. Admission is $40, and if you would like to indulge in a 3-course meal before the show, the dinner package is $135. Now, St. Patrick's Day may be over, but the Irish fun isn't with the Circa Festival. The event has everything from Irish performances, dinner, dancing, crafts, and much more.
If you've never seen the Irish play Waiting for Godot, the Circa Festival is the place to be this weekend. Seattle's One World Theatre performed the play in sold-out shows for the Seattle Fringe Festival and the Vancouver International Fringe. But the play isn't the only thing to look forward to.
Another later night racier cabaret on Saturday night starting at 9:30, and then Sunday we have Waiting for Godot again, and as well as Kat Walsh's new play called Fetch, which is a super lovely little gem of a piece as well.
The last event for this evening is at 9:30 and is an adult-only show featuring burlesque, some Irish theatre, and of course your favorite Irish beverages. Now Hear This Music Festival is here to help establish Edmonton's classical music scene. And with 6 days worth of concerts, there's a lot of time to experience the unique live music. The performance on Thursday of In a Large Open Space was one of the most intriguing and unique performances of the festival. It was held at City Hall and captured the harmonic sound of the large room by the music of the string quartet and other acoustic sounds. The festival has many great performances continuing until Sunday.
Composers. We have a contemporary recorder soloist, Sylvia Hines. There's Miles Zero dances involved. The Bozzini String Quartet, who sort of organized this event in City Hall, they're also doing a main concert. So it's all music that's kind of avant-garde, contemporary, experimental.
You can purchase your tickets at eventbrite.com and enjoy the passion in all the artists, including more performances by the Bozzini String Quartet. Well, there's lots going on this weekend. I'm definitely going to have to check out Crash. Have a good night, everyone.
Well, you know what, Darce? I think I'm gonna have to check out the Crash Hotel tonight.
Yeah, with all those restaurants, there's really no excuse for me not to take my girlfriend out to dinner. Anyway, we hope you have a good weekend, everybody, and that's our show.
All right. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to check out some of the restaurants tonight, maybe as well, and maybe even get some lunch tomorrow while it's cheap.
Yeah, there's really no excuse not to.
Oh, I understand.
Anyway, that's our show for this evening. Have a good night, everybody. Yes, it is.